the dollar bad.
Also, countdown starts at.
Probably doesn't have to do the one of us can.
Not you.
Okay.
We are live, delayed emergency broadcast. Couldn't get to the mics and cameras last night. We were out watching the Eagles game late at the Titty Bar. Now we are back here to recap midday during the college football shenanigans. Going to recap Thursday, Friday, and then get into the open conversations about our thoughts, all the news throughout the week since Tuesday. And we're just going to jump right into the Chiefs-Ravens recap. Crazy game. Isaiah Likely a long toenail away from sending either the Chiefs bet down the shitter or the Ravens bet to victory. Well, actually, the Ravens would have won regardless. The +3 would have covered. So, biggest surprise for me definitely was Isaiah Likely and how terrible the Ravens offensive line was. Any comments on any other things on that game?
Yeah, I mean, one of my key points on the Ravens and all the experts and everybody picking them to run the North back this year was the fact that they had completely redone their offensive line and that they lost the best defensive coordinator in the league. The defense actually held up better than I thought. For the most part, it's against the Chiefs. Can't really ask for much more. But that offensive line looked terrible. They literally couldn't throw the ball deep because they had no time. Lamar was running for his life.
Did you guys see the play where they had Justice Hill matched up with Chris Jones?
And
And
he did a
Lamar
hell of a
was like
job.
going back and forth.
Hell of a job.
Yeah, Chris Jones was having a field day. Holy shit.
Yeah, for all the talk about getting Derrick Henry, I think Justice Hill outsnapped him probably 60.
Well, yeah, the
47%.
game script is called for it. Yeah. I don't know.
Every play that Derrick Henry is in, it is like an 85% chance they're just going off tackle with Henry. And then everything else they do on offense.
Or it's play action. It's either play action
yeah.
or it's a handoff. There's nothing else there.
The ball.
No,
The thing
Justice
is-
looked good, though.
Yeah, he
Out of the
did.
backfield, catching the ball.
Something I didn't think about before the season started was that they run a lot of gun in that offense, and Derrick Henry is not a gun running back.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
he needs
gotta rely
someone
on
hill.
center, get
And
out.
Lamar Jackson's not an under center quarterback.
So I never really thought about that until now, and it definitely showed.
Yeah, it was a little different to see. As far as the Chiefs go, man, looking like they're going to run it back once again. It looks good. Worthy popped. A lot of hype on him. I mean, if you take his 2 touchdowns away, you're talking about a guy who had 40 yards receiving and 20 yards rushing. So let's relax down there. Ohio State jersey wear. Yeah, like, come on, bro. I mean, he's been nothing on fantasy. Oh, what a good pick. What a good pick. Like, come on. Let's be real. He was 2 touchdowns away from having 8 points.
There are still going to be some games this year where he's the 5th most targeted player on the Chiefs. There are going to be games where he has big plays like that, but also like Kelsey Rice, Brown when he's back, Pacheco.
Even Noah at some point.
Samaje P. Ryan.
Right.
Dog. He was there. Kelsey had an interesting role that game.
Him and Andrews both just getting outshined by the backups.
Yeah.
Andrews, I don't know if it's going to be a situation like game plan thing, but they were basically just using him as a blocker, mostly because I think
He played left tackle.
yeah, that's what I said. I mean,
He looked like Drew Sample.
Drew Sample.
I would just like to give a shout out to myself with 0% underdog ownership of Mark Andrews and about 19% Isaiah Likely. So I'm pretty hyped about this.
I'm a dynasty Mark Andrews owner, unfortunately, but hey, we be all right.
I'm a dynasty
We
Isaiah
go.
Likely owner. Love it.
Bum.
Once again, I've been saying 3+ years now that Lamar Jackson is nothing special. He's a fringe top 10 quarterback.
I love this.
I'm gonna mute you, dude.
And last night really showed that.
Last night really showed.
Sorry,
Yeah,
we're recording this on Saturday. 2 nights ago, it really showed that Lamar Jackson is what he has been his whole career. He
a 2-time MVP.
He's a
multiple
letdown
playoff
in
winner.
primetime games and big spots. He's a letdown.
A letdown.
Yeah, he's a letdown.
Oh my god,
He
was a
sailed that
toenail
pass
away.
over
What
Zay
is
Flowers' head.
what is his playoff record?
That's a fact.
2-4 is his playoff record.
I
He
can't
has
knock
one
you.
win against the Titans,
Yep.
and he has 1 win against a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback last year in the Texans.
At home.
Lamar Jackson just Dak Prescott 2.0.
He's 2-4 in the playoffs.
Ugh.
That is mad disrespectful. You guys are so disrespectful.
Listen, I'm not on
He
Lamar.
had
He
a
was-
hell of a game.
Yeah, I'm gonna defend Lamar here. I had Ravens plus 3. Everybody knows. The sale pass is bad. His explanation for it was that he thought Bateman was gonna sit. He wasn't throwing it to Flowers. I don't buy that shit at all.
Even the play.
I mean,
before,
even if it's true, it was still a bad throw. I don't care.
the play before that, they ran
Play
hurry
before,
up and
yeah.
they wasted 10 seconds instead of spiking
Now
the
that's
ball,
John
and
more
sailed the ball
than Lamar.
over Likely's head and got him killed.
Yeah, he almost got
I
Likely
don't know
killed.
how
That-
Likely's not dead.
The
on
two
a
throws
stretcher.
before that were awful, but the only reason they were in that game is because Lamar is able to make plays that nobody else in the world can. If that's any other quarterback, he's been sacked 10 times that game. Like Lamar was making plays the whole game to keep them in it. Justin Tucker is fucking washed. I'd like to add, and
Thank God, finally.
When you have to rely on his
Finally.
arm is when you lose.
Corey, he
Corey,
made the pass to win the game.
So
Likely
they
is
had
a
the number
toe
one.
out.
They had the number one
Like-
rushing offense in the league last year, and then the AFC Championship, they decided to say, "Hey, let's rely on Lamar's arm to beat Mahomes in Baltimore." And look what happened; they lost.
Corey, we are recapping
We're
this
recapping 2
season,
nights ago.
not last
I'm
season.
recapping.
Okay, so
Lamar's
I agree with
thank you.
Corey.
Career. I'm recapping his career. And his
Okay,
career
two-time
in the past
MVP.
and going.
Stop
forward
with the
in the
2-time
future.
MVP.
Yeah, the 2-time MVP.
He has
was
one
fine.
real MVP.
You just
Last
compared
year's-
it to Dak
No, he
Prescott.
He doesn't have a single.
Last year's
real
MVP does not count.
Last year's MVP was Derrick Rose against LeBron, and his
If
first MVP
Joe Burrow
was
wins that
Steve
MVP,
Nash.
you are
Those are his 2
puffing
MVPs.
your chest out so big. Joe Burrow. bleh.
Joe Burrow's
Since
never
it's
had
Lamar,
a 26 touchdown
crazy.
season.
Steve
Yeah.
Nash and Derrick Rose are his 2 MVPs. If you
Yeah,
compare them to
Joe Burrow's never ran for more than 50 yards in a game. So let's
I
be
don't
real
think
here.
that's true. I think he has.
So I think the recap of this game basically is that Lamar couldn't come in clutch. Isaiah Likely
Oh my
might be the
God.
tight end 1 in Baltimore. Rasheed Rice is now slant boy Michael Thomas.
Yes,
with
he
9
is.
Yeah, he
receptions
is.
and 103
route
yards this game.
Did you see his route tree? His route chart on Next Gen Stats?
I
It
did
was
not,
hilarious.
but I bet it was
hilarious.
just all inside
Yep,
slants the
everything
whole
was
time.
a slant.
breaking news:
So far.
Jordan Love to miss 3 to 6 weeks with that sprained ACL. Just
Wow.
Do we want anything else on this game, or we just want to on that cue fold it into the Packers Eagles?
Xavier Worthy's fast. Pacheco runs like he's got to take a mad shit.
Oh, actually, I have one more thing on that game. Can someone explain to me why, when the Ravens had the lead, that they decided to stop trying to get downhill with Henry and throw screen passes to Zay Flowers for negative yards? Warren Sharp put out in the middle at halftime, I think. Lamar's average
Depth of target.
depth of target in the first half was what, 1 yard, 0.1,
1 yard.
like 0.5.
Gross.
1 yard.
I don't
But they
understand the
finished
game
with
plan there.
a average yards per play of 6.1 yards.
They don't trust
per
him
play.
to throw the
So,
ball downfield.
Kind of
They
interesting.
don't trust him.
Honestly, you might be right. He looked like shit, honestly.
Dude, like
Throwing it down
it's
the field, he
plain as
did.
day. The casual fans will think Lamar is fantastic. Oh, 2-time MVP, he's the best. It's
The
like,
casual
dude,
fans, God,
see
you're
right through it.
delusional,
He-
bro.
He's pretty good. I don't think he's on the tier of Allen, Burrow. People putting
Elite.
him over
He's
Allen is
elite.
crazy.
No, not
Fucking
over
crazy.
But he's elite. He's top
Yes,
5 quarterback in the NFL.
yes, for sure.
Any comment on that, Cincinnati?
Give me Caleb Williams to start his career, and I haven't even seen him.
Oh
Wow.
my
I'll take him
god,
over Lamar.
You
Ridiculous.
are dismal, bro.
ridiculous. All right, you guys want to get on?
Move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Packers, Eagles. This was a fun game. I mean, points.
If you tailed me, it was a fucking fun night. Eagles in the points,
Yeah,
baby.
if you've been telling me, you've been nothing but a winner. So, yeah, Eagles 34, Packers 29. There was over 800 yards of total offense in this game. Funny enough, though, the quarterback play to me on both sides of the ball was not fantastic. That was one of the big takeaways I took from this game. Love and Hurts kind of underwhelming. But Packers 7.1 yards per play. Eagles 5.5 yards per play. Those numbers jump out to me. Anything else?
Some really good receivers.
Saquon.
Saquon definitely still in his prime. And who was it? 24, 109 yards, 4.5
Looking like the
yards per carry.
Jordan Love getting hurt sucks, but he was
Yeah.
not. Me and Connor were talking about this earlier on the phone. Just he was not looking good. He was like 50% completion percentage. Like he had some
Not
big
good.
plays. You can't really
Jaden
take out
Reed
the
bailed
big
him out
plays.
a lot.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can't really take out the big plays because Jordan Love's just a fucking big play hunter, man.
I like
He-
Jordan
That's true.
Don't-
slings that
don't
shit
get me wrong,
around.
I like Jordan Love, but Jaden Reed did
but yeah,
bail him out.
him and Hurts were just throwing it some bad. I don't know if Brazil game. It was a weird game. You're in Brazil. You can't leave the fucking hotel at all.
Turf
Um,
suck.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh,
one of the
it
worst
is.
playing fields I've ever
Playing on
seen in
the
my
ice.
life.
It was
Uh,
gross.
yeah, I wanted
It's
to talk
gross.
about this.
Never again in
Goodell
South
in the
Alabama.
NFL
No.
are so fucking greedy. The Peacock subscription is such horseshit for these games. It's literally, I pointed this out. It was Friday Night Football or whatever, presented by YouTube TV. It was presented by YouTube TV, but you had to have a Peacock subscription to watch it. It's fucking
Gross.
ridiculous, bro.
I think these subscriptions are ruining football, watching football, honestly.
It's not
'Cause how
ruining
many
it.
subscriptions do you need to watch a game now?
Shout out Crack Streams.
Shout out Streamy. Shout out the bar. Shout out wherever you can catch a game.
Yeah.
That's to our new sponsor.
Yeah, shout out
Streamy.
Glasgow's Tavern for having the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it was a fun game. Kept me on the edge of my seat. Eagles -2.5. Cash me.
Yeah, I'll take the easiest over cash of my life.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
I'll take both.
also a really good play. Um,
Connor,
How do
we
you feel
still
about
feel
your
good
Eagles'
about.
future?
Yeah, we still feel good about the Eagles.
yeah,
future.
you know, I made a controversial tweet. I might have had one too many Twisted Teas last night, saying I was worried about my Packers bet. And then I said, scratch that with a reply, no longer worried. Eagles Super Bowl pick. I don't know, though. I mean, Jalen Hurts, if that's the floor, okay, I'm comfortable. But if that's not the floor, I'm worried.
That's the floor.
I don't know.
I think
Is
that's
it?
pretty
We
the
got to
floor.
find out.
Yeah.
You can have
I
Saquon
think-
to rely on. That's nice.
I know, but God, he just looked like a pile of
The
shit.
Packers were not. I think it was also he looked slow.
He was slow. Maybe
He
it
was
was the
getting
turf.
mauled.
Maybe it was the
13.
turf.
Yeah,
33 yards.
What was it, Brent? 13 for 33.
13,
Yeah.
33.
33.
It didn't like 20 of it come on like one run or like 15.
Mm.
Because he was at like 11 for like. I remember them saying it was like.
I want-
11 for
whoa,
13 yards.
can we get a check?
He had
What was
11
his-
carries for 9 yards, and then he had like
Yeah.
a 12-yard.
Spencer, I'm sure you know this. What was his over under rushing? Had to be in
It
the
was in
30s
the
or
40s. It was in the
Oh,
40s,
wow.
20 and a half, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, Hurts. Also, a lot of the boys were back in the Jordan Love rushing. I mean, that could have been more of a
Yeah.
joke.
If he would have hit that 7.5, I would have cashed a plus 900 parlay. It was a tough one.
That Hurts pick he threw to Jair in the back of the end zone was.
Oh God, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, we're down there. I'm like, oh, here we go. We're about to put the nail in the coffin, and he just runs around and throws a lollipop. And AJ Brown does slip, right? So maybe it's not a pick, but I mean, it's like
The throw on the sideline that could have been a 90-yard pick six was almost worse than
Yes.
that.
Yes, I was like,
That was bad.
That was like his third read, and he gets to it, and he's like, well, I guess I'll just throw it to my check down,
Yeah.
not even look.
Yeah.
There's a defender there.
Yeah.
also shout out to the Ohio State white boy with the nasty interception. I can't think of his name. Safety
Reed
Eagle.
Blankenship?
The one of the Eagles?
Yeah.
He didn't go to
Yeah.
Ohio
He
State.
did not go to Ohio State, bro.
He went to.
I thought he did.
Clemson.
I think it is Clemson. I thought.
I think we should touch on a little bit from this game.
Don't
the
cut
fallout
that.
of the
Now,
Jordan Love.
keep that
injury.
in. Keep that in.
So going forward with the Packers for the next however long Love's out.
Middle Tennessee State.
Middle Tennessee State.
Oh God, world.
You
You know what? That makes perfect sense. That
It
makes
does.
sense.
In a betting sense, how are we viewing the Packers with this Love injury? I mean,
Who's their quarterback?
Malik Willis.
Is it gonna be
Malik
Malik
Willis.
Willis? Like,
Yes,
I don't-
it's gonna be Malik Willis.
Malik
So you we can't bet on the Packers. Period. Like, are they going to be double-digit underdogs in every game they play?
No, I wouldn't say double digit.
I don't like the overreaction here. It's week 1 of the NFL, and they're playing one of the top teams in
You
the
watched Malik
NFC.
Willis play football.
No, I'm talking about just the Packers in general. I just
But
don't think we should overreact
the
on
fact
Packers.
is that Love's gonna be out 6 weeks. Let's be real.
Probably 6, yeah.
And Malik Willis is gonna be toting the rock for 6 weeks, and they already lost week 1.
Yeah.
So if they go and start 1-6, 2-5, I mean, there's time to come back. The Dolphins they've
did
done it
last
worse.
year. They literally did it
Yeah.
last year.
So I mean, they'll
They
be
started off
okay.
at 2-5, I think.
But I think in the meantime, it's I guess we'll just have to see where the lines come out. Let me look. I wonder if there's any lines out yet for the Packers next week.
See their schedule.
Yeah,
No, they are all down. There are no Packers lines.
Yeah,
out.
I can't imagine they would take them.
Their offense is definitely going to look different. A lot less deep balls, probably. A lot more running.
Mhm. Yeah. They'll probably go to what Tennessee looked like 2 2 years ago.
But Tennessee, also, let's just talk on the LaFleur field goal to cut it from a 1-score game to a 1-score game. I mean,
he loves doing that.
he
shit,
does.
dude.
I don't
I don't get it.
understand it. I don't understand it.
Don't they have like
Well, you need a
the
field goal
guy
rather
on
than
the
a
sideline
touchdown,
to
right?
tell him?
You need a field goal instead of a touchdown, yeah, but like they didn't even get the ball back until what 40 seconds left because of that decision, and then they needed a touchdown because the Eagles marched down the field, ran it. I don't know. I just don't like. I don't like that.
I think Philadelphia should have went for the touchdown when they were sitting on the 1.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad they fucking didn't, because if they didn't cover that 2.5, I was gonna punch my TV.
I know, dude. No, I don't think they should have. They
I think
drained the
play
clock and let's go.
Well,
He just fumbled the snap before.
I
True.
understand
That was big.
but you had the greatest 1-yard play to ever be
Well, that's
It
another
did
thing to
not-
talk
it
about.
did not
Is
look
it
great.
that good? Is it that good
great
anymore?
yesterday.
No, it did
have
not.
that play in your
They
arsenal.
converted
Oh.
4th and 1 with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely.
They also
I
fumbled
know
the
you
snap
don't have Jason
exchange.
Kelsey, but it's still the greatest play of all time to get 1 yard.
How many rushing touchdowns did Hurts have last year? 14?
Yeah,
I think
something
so.
like
He
that.
won't even
No,
get halfway there this year.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts fantasy owners, Luke, not feeling so good.
I'm fine.
Josh
though.
Allen
I
definitely
wouldn't
was the
drag
pick.
I'd like to retract something from Tuesday's pod. My Kellen Moore slander, I was wrong. I'm going to hand up on that. Finster, thank you for calling me out on that. Kellen Moore knows what the fuck he's doing. That Chargers team was a joke last year, so that's on me. He knows what he's doing. Those receivers are going to cook, and Hurts is going to be a way better passer this year than he's ever been in his career.
Yeah. Also, no.
Wow, well, he got off to a
Watson
hot
sighting
start.
at all last night.
Nah.
He still, like, other than his awful decision making on those interceptions, like, he was slinging the rock around.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt he can throw a football. I mean, anybody in the NFL can throw a football.
Can you pick
Well, Lamar can't.
Good point.
it?
Lamar can't.
Good point. Yeah, so
Phillies.
really just the whole overview of that game, really. Philly, okay, I can't say dominant. They got out with a win in probably what was one of their worst games, and they still scored 34
Offensively.
points. Yeah.
Offensively bad.
Well, defensively, they let up 29 fucking points. It wasn't good
The Packers
defensively
are
either.
the Packers are good. I mean, a lot of them
They
were
had
covered.
Packers
400
are
yards
good.
of total offense on both sides. I mean, it was not a good game for either. of these
Sao
teams.
Pablo game.
But
Just
and
say.
the thing
It's
is,
over.
like, you'll see early in the season in the NFL, it's like this every year. The first 3-4 weeks, everybody's getting used to it. It's everything.
Yeah, I think it takes a little bit to get settled. I don't
Well,
think
you
either
usually
quarterback.
get into good football until week 5, 6, 7.
Usually, defenses are ahead of offenses, though.
Both teams had new defensive coordinators, so
Yeah.
so
That was hey. If you watch Pod Tuesday, you caught that tidbit from
that's
Brent
why you
Connor.
got the over.
Yep. Over.
Shout out Adam
Line
Chernoff.
chasers. Hey, shout out Adam Chernoff. I mean, if we could get him on here, I would be fanboying so hard.
Yeah, let's get Adam Chernoff on the pod.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
First
Sponsored
guest
by
picker.
DK, not sponsored by DK. Sponsored by Miller Lite, not sponsored by Miller Lite.
Yeah.
I guess we can kind of just go open conversation from here. Just really talk about what we're thinking this week.
I got one. I got a bone to pick with Corey, who last week said that the Chargers are just straight up a better team than the Raiders. I'd like you to tell me any position, now that I've thought about this, any position other than quarterback
Pull up
that the
the
Chargers are
rosters,
better than the
baby.
Raiders.
So, I think the Chargers are going to be very underrated this year. Honestly, like
Oh,
You're the only guy
wow.
to think
the
that.
Raider. The
I don't
Raiders
think
have
that
a-
was the question. I don't think that was the question.
You said unquestionably the team is better.
He just
I
asked you
didn't say
to
unquestionably
name a
the
better
team is
player
better.
in one
I
of the
said
positions.
I think that the Chargers will be a better team than the Raiders this year, and that's just why I'm taking them. It's plain and simple. It's your opinion.
Yep, that is great analysis there from the guy.
I think the Chargers have a better O line than Oakland.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I mean,
I agree
that's,
with that.
that's
Okay, yeah, I don't know their offensive lines. I'll admit to that.
I know two guys in the Chargers offensive line, and that's more than I know on the Raiders. So,
But,
I know two guys in the Chargers.
no.
The defense, the Chargers were 28th last year. The Raiders were 13th. They have better wide
Raiders' defense is
receivers,
gonna be
better
even
running
Yeah,
backs.
Raiders defense can be good. They get Christian Wilkins from
Max
Miami.
Crosby is winning DPOY this year. Take that.
I
Would you guys
agree,
rather have
I agree.
Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa or not? Or Max Crosby.
Max
Max
Crosby's not
Crosby.
Yeah,
close.
Max
Are you
Crosby.
kidding?
I was just
Yeah.
making sure we're all on the same page there.
Yeah. No, Joey Bosa's washed.
Yeah, he's trash.
I mean, he's still a good
Did Joey
player,
have,
but
like,
he's not like a.
10. How many sacks did he have last year? He had a good amount.
He was hurt.
Like
They were-
Khalil,
Yeah, he's never played a full season.
Khalil Mack had like 18, didn't he, last year?
No.
Khalil Mack's a whole different tier of player than Joey Bosa.
Did he have 18?
He had something like that.
He had like
last
5 in one game last year.
year. Khalil Mack.
I've got with the update with the Bengals receivers, had some people reach out to me questioning my minus 16.5 pick, and I just want to say we're not backing off. You can actually get better juice on that now. Plus 240
I bet
now.
you can.
Plus 240. I'm not worried. The line's dropped to Cincy minus 7.5, so it's dropped a point. Jamar is saying all this, yada yada yada. He's gonna play. He's gonna ball. Jamar is a gamer. Him and Burrow have a connection like nobody else in the league between quarterback and receiver. We're not worried about it. We played plenty of games without T. Higgins. Look for Yoshi Voss to step up. Jermaine Burton maybe can run some fucking streaks.
Dog.
That's all
We're gonna
he
be
did.
fine. Yeah. So can Pickens. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's all right.
Um,
Averaged 15 yards a catch last year.
On what? On slants and goes. That's all he can run.
No. The 3 worst quarterbacks in the league throwing him the ball.
Hey,
Anyway.
put some respect on Mason Rudolph's name.
We're gonna be fine.
No, we don't
Also,
get no respect.
on another bet that's changed a little bit, the DEFCON 1 Robert Oppenheimer nuclear launch code bet of the week has dropped a full point on that total. You're now getting it at 47 instead of 48. Yeah, that over
which
is
game?
going to
I'm
smack.
telling you, the Cardinals might ruin that.
Are you going to double down on that bet, Luke? Is that another 3-unit play?
No, we're keeping it at 3. Keeping it at 3, but yeah, that over is going to smack.
I also like that over.
I think you guys
On the
can beat
Bengals
Bills' team
receivers,
total.
I like Andre Yoshivas a lot.
Say that
I
3
think
times
that he-
fast.
I like Andre Yoshivas a lot. I think that he will score a touchdown, but he's currently plus 190 to score.
That's gross.
That is so
Yeah, that
gross.
puts him at a rate of 8.5 touchdowns over the season, scoring once every other game. Only 6 receivers in the entire NFL scored that much last year, and I don't think Andre Yoshivas is the 7th best receiver in the NFL. So I don't think you're really getting great odds on that one.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
really
not touching a lot of any times this season. Only for running backs because those really haven't changed from last year. But everyone else, it's brutal.
That's sort of my bigger point is that the touchdown odds are broken.
I
Do
did
that.
just
Yeah.
I did just add one onto my ticket. I didn't make a bet for the Steelers-Falcons game because I'm a Steelers fan. I will bet them on 2 games going on to the year. Luke knows what I'm talking about. 2 games only. This is not one of them. However, I did add half a unit Justin Fields to score a touchdown. It's plus
Ew.
255 on DK right now.
Yeah.
Wow,
like
That's gross.
that is gross.
In the Dynasty League, he
That
has
is
moved
so
into Will
gross.
Levis in the starting line.
That is a bad lineup change. I have to
Connor was
say.
the roasting that changed. Justin Fields, when he plays, averages 20 fantasy points a game. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's a great NFL quarterback. He's an amazing fantasy quarterback. He runs around the yard. Only other thing I got on my list here is that Michigan absolutely fucking blows. Sharon Moore is going to be a one and done head coach. He's a complete fall guy for this team.
He's
If
I
the
don't
gonna,
think he was
NCAA
ever going to be the
I think
set in stone guy though.
Michigan's expectations this year are not very high either, though. So
have you talked to any Michigan fans? Because they said that they weren't
oh,
going
those
to
are
miss a fucking
Michigan
step.
fans. I think those are
Desmond Howard,
Michigan
shout out
fans.
Desmond Howard, the biggest fucking jackass on national television. Absolute moron. Oh my lord. Yeah,
There's no
Michigan's
bias
joke.
there at all, guys.
He's a fucking joke. Their quarterback is a walk-on, and he splits snaps with some highly recruited guy who can't pass. I mean, they fucking suck.
Who's
And
a
this is
bigger
awesome.
jackass, Desmond Howard or Urban Meyer?
Desmond Howard's not even close. Urban Meyer's a fucking legend. What is Desmond Howard? He's a fucking punt returner.
Yeah, legend.
Urban Meyer is a legend, dog.
I hate both teams, so I can see it both ways.
Are you arguing that Urban Meyer is not a legend? Bro,
As a
Who's a
meme,
Corey taking the centrist
he's
stance.
he's a
Both
meme.
sides are bad.
who's a better college
He's a
quarterback?
legend as a meme. He's a meme. legend,
College coach
yes.
all time. Who's better, him or Dabo Sweeney?
Dabo Sweeney.
Oh my!
It's
All right, I'm out.
probably Urban.
I'm out. I'm out. It's not even
Off topic
close.
from what you guys are talking about, I would like to say that I am more and more I look at it in love with Connor's Caleb Williams rushing total. I'm actually going to ladder this. It went up. It was at 16.5. It's at 18.5. I think it'll be
Gotta
20.5
get there
by
early.
kickoff. I'm going to ladder it. I like it. I think it's on DK right now at plus 160 for 25 plus, and then I'm going to ladder it to even 40. I think you can get there
Wow.
at plus 450. I'm going to ladder it. If you guys don't know what a ladder is, you should look it up and just ladder the play.
Well, kind
Explain
of
what a
explain
ladder
it.
is. Explain what a ladder is, Tony.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
just
what's a
throwing
ladder?
it out.
Rush.
I'm not talking to you guys. I'm just talking about everyone listening. If you don't know what a
I
ladder
know,
is,
yeah.
look it up.
No, explain it to the listeners, Tony. This is podcasting.
We
Oh,
gotta
okay.
teach them how to become
You're
multi-billionaire sports bettors.
Okay, if you don't know what a ladder is basically where you're going to put your biggest unit bet on the straight bet at 18.5, which is at right now. You're going to throw a half unit on the 25 plus, and then you're going to throw a quarter unit on the 40 plus. Laddering up, basically the more rushing yards he gets. The half unit or the quarter unit is going to be boosted by the odds at plus 450 and plus 200. So you're basically almost getting your full unit back or even more unit back. So that was what
Or
a
you
ladder
can
is.
do a Connor ladder and go 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit,
Don't
all
do
the way
that.
up.
That is not
Don't
how
do
you.
that. That's
don't
not
do
how you
reverse
ladder.
ladder is what he's trying to say there.
gonna watch this guy's units on the
Yeah.
spreadsheet.
The best laddering I've ever seen was Stephon Diggs' first year in Buffalo, and Brant Profit, before we even had legalized
At the
gambling in
Rams?
Ohio, was hitting that shit every single week.
Receptions, Rams.
Yes,
I remember
receptions.
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Stephon Diggs in Buffalo every single week would be
I almost bought a
banging
jersey.
receptions. Yeah.
That was fun.
Anybody else got anything?
I'll also say back on the Bengals Patriots game, if you listen to the Tuesday pod, I had Patriots spread plus 8.5 or plus 9, something.
What a bad bet.
It was 8.5 or 9 on Tuesday, so love that even more here. T. Higgins out. Jamar Chase is going to play half the game, so.
So
Sit him on your
yeah,
fantasy team. Sit him on your
Sit him on
fantasy
your
team.
fantasy team.
Think about sitting him on your fantasy team.
You're
If
ridiculous,
you have
Brad.
some wide receiver depth, think about sitting Chase on your fantasy
Hopefully
team.
the listeners can gauge what's
I
going
think-
on here with this.
I
guy.
think we have a lot of like fantasy listeners too. So I have like a few fantasy questions for you guys. Okay, so
I like
if you're a Mark Andrews owner right now in a non-dynasty league, what are you guys doing with him?
I think he's a drop, honestly.
How
A
much
drop?
fab are you spending on him? Oh, Isaiah Likely if he's on your
That
radar.
is another good question.
That's
What
a
is your
question I want
fab?
to hear from our co-host Hunter Anderson, who has Mark Andrews. I have 0 tight ends, so I'm going to spend a good chunk of fab on Isaiah Likely. I'd like to know.
Do
how
I
much
bid him
can
up?
outbid him
Would
by.
you-
Fight?
Would you going forward? Would you rather have Cole Kmet or Mark Andrews on your fantasy team?
Mark Andrews?
Mark Andrews.
Hey, just stop.
I think Cole Komet could catch some touchdowns this
I
year.
think he could as well.
The
But
Ravens
Mark
do
Andrews
run a
passes,
ton of
which is
2
Mark-
tight end stuff, like
Yeah,
as much
I
as
like
anybody
Mark.
in the league.
What
Let's not
Mark
overreact to
Andrews
one
can
game
do
that
is
hard.
catch passes, and that's what you're supposed to do as a tight end is catch passes.
I'm saying he can't.
He can, but he's not going to.
Why?
Lamar can't throw him the ball.
Oh my
Okay.
Jesus Christ. See, this guy is abysmal.
Lamar
You
won't
can't
throw him the
listen
ball.
to him.
Okay, let's get the narrative here that Lamar can throw a little bit. All right. He's not throwing him the ball. Isaiah Likely is that primary target, honestly, over Zay.
Okay. All right,
Mm.
Finster. Next question. I'm done with this.
Wow,
They
well, that's
played
my next
one
question.
game, Corey.
You
One
guys
game.
didn't give me your answer on how much percentage of your fab you're going to spend on Isaiah Likely.
Well, I
Depending on
only
your,
told-
let's just say you're in Luke's
0.
situation.
I
you
know,
don't
not
have-
0. I would throw a 5 if we're at $100 fab. Okay, I'll do $5. He's a backup, dude. He's a
Brother,
backup
He's
tight
not
end.
the backup.
Corey. Okay,
He
go
is
look at the depth chart.
but you
He is
have
penciled in as tight
So
end.
do you-
too.
They start 2 tight ends on their depth chart. They're both.
They
listed
do. They
starters.
do a lot of 2 tight end sets, but he is the
Answer me
backup
this
tight
right
end.
now. Who do you think will be higher in fantasy than between Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely at the end of
Well, I mean, he got a hell of a head start. So right
Well,
now,
rest
let's
of
say
the season,
Isaiah
take out-
Likely.
Take out this game. Who do you think week 2 through week 18?
The rest of the, if I can
I'd
take out this
probably
game, I'm
still
going
say
to take
Mark-
Mark
15,
Andrews.
sorry.
I'm
If they
gonna
play
say
all
Mark
the
Andrews.
games, Mark Andrews. But also,
Yes.
I don't think Mark Andrews played all the games. He never does. That's why I would say
So-
I'm thinking about spending between 40 and 50% of my fab. on
So
Isaiah
now,
Likely.
is injury not a factor in fantasy?
Well, you can't predict
So
injuries, Corey.
you're talking about a guy that
Corey
is
can. That's why he had
injury-prone.
McCaffrey
Corey
16th.
I'm so sorry.
You're
That's
talking about
right.
a guy
Yeah,
that is
Corey can.
historically injury prone, as Mark Andrews is, and you can't factor that into Isaiah Likely over him.
Sure, I guess you can.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's just
I
go
would-
through.
If you want to look at your fucking crystal ball and predict when his leg's going to snap, I mean,
No,
sure.
I'm
but-
looking at past games where I've seen him not play because there's something going on with him.
Yeah,
so
then
let's
you're
just
going
go
to
through
predict
quickly each one of your guys' answers on percentage. Just answer only. You don't have to give any explanation. Answer only. If you're in Luke's situation, you don't have a tight end, a reliable tight end. How much are you spending on fab? Connor, kick us off.
25%.
Corey,
Half.
Luke,
half.
Brant,
10%.
Yeah, I guess me and Brandon are on the same page here.
All right,
So we
well,
got
Hunter
two
knows.
guys.
Tight end is
got
really
that.
deep this year.
Well, he's saying if
Not-
you
well,
don't have one,
Luke's starting tight end right now is
It's
Dallas Goedert.
bum.
He had more targets than I thought he would yesterday. I'll tell you that.
I'm in the 30 to 40% category if you're in that situation on Isaiah Likely. So moving on to the next question here. Would you sell high on Jaden Reed or any of the other Green Bay receivers with Jordan Love
If you get
missing
somebody
weeks?
dumb enough, absolutely.
Yeah.
Would I what now? Say it again.
Are you selling high on Jaden Reed or any of the other Green Bay
Honestly,
receivers?
I
right
think
now?
Especially with the Love injury, yes.
Even if Love was still there, I would still sell high on Jalen Reed. I mean, if you look
Are
at the
any of
numbers,
them-
once again, touchdown dependent. One
Are any
was
of
a
them
7-yard
starting
bomb.
now? Are you going to start them with Malik Willis playing quarterback? Any of them?
No. Nope.
Maybe Jalen Reed at the
No.
flex, but that's it.
No.
So you're looking at it.
And Josh
Best case
Jacobs.
scenario for Jordan Love is 3 weeks, which is not much at all. You can probably
That's
survive that.
unrealistic.
If you could buy low on Jaden Reed right now, and for the rest of the season on the back end, you'd be pretty set. Especially if your receiver situation's not good.
I wouldn't say it's an awful play, but I don't know. I was already skeptical on the Green Bay guys going in just because of how many of them there are. And Jaden Reed, yes, had a great game. A lot of those were big fucking plays that I don't expect. And Jaden Reed's a big playmaker, but Christian Watson in the first half had by far the most target share. And then the second half, Jaden Reed got the big plays going. I just don't know. I'm still not confident in which ones I really want. And if there's quarterbacks going to be injured for the season, I'm not really high on it.
What did Chris Watson have last night? Like three catches for 13 yards and that touchdown?
Yes,
Something like that?
Yes,
I've always
Corey.
been on the train where I don't think Christian Watson's a good receiver.
No.
He had that one good back end of the season with Aaron Rodgers, the last
There's
6
just
games.
like,
But other
there's
than
so
that,
many
he has
mid
not
wide
been
receivers.
that great.
Mid to decent wide receivers.
But don't take
Are we selling high? I'm an Xavier Worthy owner. If you're owning Xavier Worthy right now, are you trying to trade him at the highest price you can probably get right now in the season?
Yeah, I'd be trying.
I know Luke Santos.
No, I'd hang on
How's
to him.
everyone else feel? How's everyone else feel about that? Corey Connor says, "Hang on."
I mean, busted coverage and reverse, but still, I would still hang on to him. I think he's got a lot of value still, but right now it's honestly a field play for you.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to get for him? Are you going to get a week in and week out starter for him? Like, you're better off just holding him on your bench and having him be a plug-in flex guy and hoping he goes off.
Okay, so let's just say someone offered you a guy like Terry McLaurin. You making that trade?
Yes.
I'm not trading you, Terry McLaurin.
I'm
bro.
not. I'm just throwing
Yeah.
out some hypothetical situations. So we're going to try to see where the value is
You
for
could trade
Xavier
me
Worthy.
almost every wide receiver one on any team, and I think other than maybe the Patriots or like probably 28 teams.
I'm not
Wide
taking
receiver.
George Pickens over Xavier Worthy in fantasy.
That's crazy.
I'd rather
say
take
it
the guy on a good team.
Yeah, that's
That's
a good
personal
comparison
bias.
right now.
You'll,
So
Xavier Worthy's going to have games where he has 3 fantasy.
So is George Pickens.
I actually agree with that, Corey. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I don't know what you're
So-
like. What?
we're saying, Corey's saying at least that Xavier Worthy is a boom or bust player every week.
For his rookie year, I think so. I think he'll develop throughout the years and he'll become Mahomes' favorite guy.
I think if you're a Worthy owner, you should just manage your expectations every week. He's not going to be able to score 2 touchdowns, but I do think the upside here is that he's going to get more targets than he did this game. They're not going to be throwing to Juju anymore. I can tell you that right now. I don't think he's going to be seeing. We also
might be
saw
cut
a. We also got to realize that Hollywood Brown is coming back, and I think they're going to be running a way more 3 receiver sets than the 2 tight end sets they had with Watson and Gray out there. So I think the deep ball will be a more of a bigger thing going down the season with Xavier Worthy. All right, do you guys have any other questions? Those are kind of like my fantasy questions.
I'm good. I feel like we banged out the emergency pod. Does anybody have anything else on the delayed emergency pod that they want to kind of throw out there? This is Joel, our producer and IT guy. We're just gonna label him IT
Shout
guy.
out.
Big shout out.
Say hi to
Shout out
the
to
It's
viewers.
absolutely
Say hi.
kicking ass on the back end.
Yeah.
That is
love you,
a fantasy expert right there,
Yeah.
Joel Elder. I mean,
it, Joel.
Lord have mercy on that microphone.
Yeah, that was brutal.
My dog, Miami Dolphins 22-1 to win the Super Bowl this year. Get your value while you can.
Oh,
That is laughable.
ew, that is disgusting.
Are you trying to lose people
He's
money?
trolling,
Get your
bro.
value
He's
while you
trolling.
can. 22.
You are trolling so
I
hard.
can't wait. Joel, we need to clip that, and at the end of the season,
Please.
at the end of the
that.
season, we'll see
Actually,
that.
Just clip that now, and
Just put
we'll
it in
get
the
tons of
archives.
views for him
Put it in
trolling.
the archives.
Since we started the pod and I mentioned the fact that the Steelers Falcons over should be moving, or total should be moving up now that Fields is starting, it has moved up a full point. It's now 42.
Are you moving
Just
the
saying.
line? Is it you?
God, you sharp.
I'm literally the line
So
mover,
sharp.
brother.
You know what I like
Literally
more
the
than
line
that,
mover.
Corey? The Jags at 50-1 versus your Dolphins 22-1.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that. The Jags have a better chance than Miami of winning fucking 3
I
games
agree.
in December.
I mean, your team can't play in the cold. Well, how are they
Yeah.
going to go to Kansas City? They're
They
not.
better
They're
win.
going to
They better
freeze.
win 15 games and bring
They're
gonna
everybody
play
down
at
to
home.
Miami.
So they'll get at least one home playoff game.
That's not enough. You got to be the
They-
first. They got to be first.
Buffalo walked
Super
down to
Bowls
Miami
in a
last year and
dome.
beat them. Buffalo walked down to Miami last year and beat them in their own stadium.
Fact.
Look, this is last year.
Miami got worse.
So did Buffalo.
I don't disagree, but the Jets got a hell of a lot better. Would you argue with that?
What do you mean Miami got worse?
They
Jalen
lost
Ramsey's
Christian
back.
Wilkins.
Jalen
They
Ramsey's
lost
back.
2 starting fucking offensive linemen. They lost Christian Wilkins, one of the best D tackles in the league.
They had a lot
I
of
don't know.
injuries,
Like
maybe.
they definitely did not get better. I'll tell you that.
A lot of
Well,
injuries.
Buffalo definitely did not get better. I can tell you that.
All right,
Tua
we're gonna
lost
wrap this
weight.
thing up.
Yeah.
I'm ready to
Jets
wrap.
got better, but we'll see.
Jets-
Jets, Jets, Jets.
Look for the Bills addition by subtraction without that toxic fuck Diggs in that locker room.
Any
You better not
bold
poison my sweet Prince
predictions for this
Charles.
weekend that we think are going to happen before we wrap this up? Bold predictions besides the ginger guy. Anybody else got any bold predictions?
It's 22-1 for a reason.
That is true. You might get any
Uh,
bold predictions.
Yeah, Panthers win outright.
Yeah,
I
kinda like
love that.
I want to call that bold. I think.
I
I mean, they're 4-point dogs. It's pretty bold.
Also,
They
I
were
played
2
some
and
future
15
bets
last year.
since the last podcast.
do you got
I
for us?
parlayed Bengals over 10.5 wins with Ravens under 10.5 wins at plus 260
Okay,
That's beautiful.
I like that.
Lies.
because I
You
think
can
we'll.
get Max Crosby right now plus 700 DPOY.
I feel like he was
I think
that.
future
TJ
bets
Watt
are
is
a
having a
scam.
baby this year. So
Yeah, futures are tough
Go
because you
ahead
have to
and
wait
watch.
the whole year.
This is not even that. You can't account for injuries, man. They could lose their starting quarterback, and the bet is dead.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
That's baked in the line.
That's baked in. That's
I
baked
think.
in.
I just personally think I need a bigger bacon to the line there to be taking future bets.
Well, like Corey said, you get the Dolphins 22-1. That's
22-1.
great odds.
That's
Great odds.
way
by,
bigger
by
than
week 9,
20.
by week 9 it'll be 15-1.
Well, I think this delayed emergency podcast was a immediate hit success.
Yeah. Smack
you'll-
Buckeyes minus 37 today. They're going to win by 40, 50.
Go
60.
Bucks.
Go Buck.
Thanks for tuning in. See you Sunday.
I need $1 bad.